Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of Fireside Fuckups. Think of Fireside Fuckups as the offspring of our Fuck Up Nights Mississauga event and social distancing. Today we have Andre Tracey, the founder of Level Up Media Group. Thank you for joining us and agreeing to talk about failure and business. I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay. All right, so I'll just reintroduce myself. I am Andre. My company is Level Up Media Group, and what we do is we support independent artists, and artists doesn't just mean musicians, it means graphic designers, photographers, engineers, all aspects of art, you know what I mean? What we do is we provide resources and platforms, so a lot of times you don't know who to trust when you first get into these type of things, especially music. It's hard to know who to trust, and you'll get ripped off, you'll get scammed here and there. Things will happen, as you'll see part from my story that I'm about to tell. But what you have to know from doing this is that, and what we're trying to do is that there's something unique in our city, and I want to be able to display that to the city. And the best way to do that is to put resources into it where others can't find it. So we give you trusted resources, we give you platforms. I hold shows every now and then. And this business actually came about because of what happened in the story that I'm about to tell. So it was 2015, and it was the time where I had just decided to take music like seriously, like really pursue it, really do it, not for money, but do it because I loved it and make a career out of it. Let's see if I can make a life out of this. So I just started recording. I was recording with a friend. He had been in it for a long time. I had known him for a few years, right? So when I first started, I had got a performance in the States, which I was grateful for. I had performed at some places, but I always had this like huge dream of wanting to perform overseas, like in Europe. And I really didn't care where it was. It could be anywhere in Europe. I just wanted to perform somewhere in Europe. So it was funny because I had spoken about this. I was thinking about it so much. And I don't remember how long it was, but the guy who I was making music with, who I've known for years, he called me and he said, "Listen, Dre, how would you like to go on a European tour?" And I mean, it's like anything. If you're in any career, imagine somebody just dangling your dream at that job or some position that you want to have, just dangling in front of your face, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks in. Like you think this is going to happen 5, 6 years down the road.
Yeah.
And a few weeks in, it's happening. So I'm like, yeah, I'm in. What do you need? So he called me pretty much because there was obviously a price that had to be paid as part of the contract, and he didn't exactly have all of the money. So he said, yo, I suggested this guy that I go with you, and he said that we could kind of split it and cover the rest of the expenses when we get there ourselves, like cover the extra stuff that we have ourselves. But he would cover both of us. So at the time, I was like, yeah, I am 100% in. I'm down. I'm there. I'm gonna be there. Let's do it. Let's get it on. Let's get it popping. So he sent me all the info. All the info came back to me. Wheels started turning. Unfortunately, what I didn't realize was I didn't have the money that was needed for this tour. I was so excited about the tour that I forgot the money aspect, which was probably far more important to everybody else but me. So I had no idea how I was going to get this money. I had a regular job. At the time I was working at Boston Pizza, right? And I was, yeah. And we were making that Boston Pizza server money.
Yeah.
Go get it. You know, that Cajun cuts, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't have enough saved up. Let's just put it that way. I didn't have enough saved up. So I needed to figure out a way to do this. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking. And at the time, Facebook was still popping more than like Instagram or Twitter in Canada. I don't know about the world, but Facebook was still popping more. So I'm on Facebook and I'm scrolling, and I start scrolling past all these GoFundMe campaigns that are going on that my friends are holding, like people I know are holding them. So I'm saying to myself, man, maybe I should do a GoFundMe, right? Maybe that'll work. But I'm also thinking to myself, if I do that, nobody's gonna give me any money. Like, I'm pretty much asking for money for people to support my music career, and I don't even know these people. There's no way they're gonna do that. You're crazy, right?
Yeah.
But something in me said, you know what, you don't, when sometimes when you don't have any other options and your back is against the wall, you explore all available options, right?
Mm.
So, or you shouldn't just give up. You should
Right.
find other options. So I did. I started the GoFundMe, and it went it went crazy. I was looking for $1,500. Within the first, I think, 24, 48 hours, I had $1,000. I had one person give me $200. One person gave me $500. Like, these are crazy sums in my mind that people are willing to donate. You know what I mean? I was so grateful though. I met the goal, had the money, so excited, decided to link up my boy and tell him, yo, I got the money for us. You know what I mean? You can just pay me back whenever you get it. Don't worry, I got us covered. It worked out. Excited on cloud nine at this point. So now we get into the other aspect, which was the communications with the promoter and myself. Like, now I didn't know the promoter personally. My
Mm-hmm.
friend did. He knew him. I had known this guy for a long time. So even though I didn't know the promoter,
Yeah.
I put my trust in his trust in the promoter. Naturally. It's like your best friend saying, yo, let's go over here. Let's go to this spot. You're like, I don't know. And they go, well, come on, I'm your best friend. Would I ever bring you to somewhere that wouldn't be safe for you? You know, and then you're gonna be like, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's one of those. It's one of
Yeah.
those moments.
Yeah.
So I'm trusting him. I'm trusting him, right? So we're communicating, we're going back and forth with the promoter. I give the promoter the money. I give him all of the money, send it that way. Uh, he's in steady contact. He's in steady contact. Then the contact starts to slow down. It starts to not be as quick a response as it was at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting closer to the date when we're supposed to be leaving for this tour. So I contact Matt and I say, listen, what's going on? And he goes, uh, man, I'm wondering the same thing. I'm like, I'm very confused right now because I go, bro, you're the one who brought this to me, don't you? I thought you know the guy. He's like, no, Dre, I don't know him. I just know that he offered the thing, and I know I looked into his business and stuff like that. And I'm like, when you look into his business, what does that mean? He's like, I went on their webpage, and he sent me a resume and da 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 da. And I'm like, you didn't really check into it. You just kind of just read everything that was in front of you. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm starting. That's when the butterflies start happening in your stomach because it was a large sum of money that had to go towards this European tour. Clearly, it's not something that's going to be cheap, right? So I'm just sitting there like, okay, I'm just going to keep contacting this promoter guy and figuring out what's going on. Like, I have no options here, right? Matt, I'm talking to him back and forth, and he's pretty much telling me that he's been trying to contact him. He doesn't know what's going on. He's trying to figure it out as well. It's getting closer to the date. So we're just going to skip ahead because the date had come and gone, that the day of when we're supposed to leave. I'm now getting no responses from this promoter guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not responding back to me. And I'm having to resort to social media bullying. I'm on there telling people to go on his page and tell him to contact me. And this guy, I'm putting up his stuff. I'm going to the most extremes because I'm like so devastated, first of all, that this dream didn't come true. But then secondly, I'm thinking about all the people that supported me on that GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
My chest is literally at the bottom of my stomach. Like, my heart has just fallen because I'm just thinking, oh my God, these people, like, those amounts of money at the time. Like, I'm thinking about Boston Pizza and working there and what my server checks were like.
Yeah.
And then pretty much getting a server check from somebody for like a 2-week check for me and getting that from one person for a donation is just like, I'm just sitting there like, what what am I gonna do? So I'm there contacting. Nothing happened. Nothing ever happened. And so I was honestly at a point where I was ready to give up, because I was like, if this is what the music industry is like, I really don't want to be a part of it. And to get you, mind you, this was my passion, my dream. I had been doing and writing music since I was 14, like way before I thought about taking it seriously. By the time I was taking it seriously, I was 22, 23, right? So it's crazy to me to think about the fact that once I was trying to build a career out of it and let's go forward, this was the first thing that would happen to me. And when it was such a big dream, it hurt. It really hurt. So I had to figure out a few things. I had to figure out, one, did I want to still do this? And two, how the hell am I going to explain to all the people that donated that money to me that I'm not going anywhere and they can't get their money back? Like, how do I get that out? You're in a messed up situation at this time. Like, I'm just, and young, like, what am I dealing with right now? I don't have a manager at the time. I don't have the publicist. I don't have the lawyer. It's just me doing everything for myself and figuring out everything for myself. So I don't have the person to go to kind of, and nobody that I knew in the music biz like that. So there was really nobody I could go to who had experience that could tell me, you know, what it was that I needed to know and all of that other stuff. You know what I mean? So let me get to the, because I got it down here a little bit, so I don't want to lose focus on the story. Yeah, so I was on track. I'm just second guessing myself. So anyway.
That's good. You're doing so good.
Yeah, I was just second guessing myself. You know how it was. I'm just like, I feel like I'm rambling on. But I was at ultimate low. I literally was at a point where I had to make a decision. It was either I completely give up on this and just move on and just go and figure out something else that I could do, because at the time I'm in university, right? Let me just go finish my degree and go get a job, move on. Or the other option that I had was to go even harder, be more focused, take this as a lesson and move forward. So we can skip ahead a couple of years. I'm sitting there and I'm sick of getting ripped off by promoters because it kept happening to me. I'm over it. It's done. I'm angry and frustrated. So I say to myself, I know I'm talented. I have talented friends. Instead of waiting for somebody else to put on a show, why not just put on my own show? I don't know any venues. I don't know how to do it, but I'm sure I could figure it out if I really wanted to. So I went about doing that. I got together with a group of friends and I sat down. I told them what my idea was. I said, I didn't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'd like to include you guys because you all have talents that could contribute to what I'm doing, right? And I don't know certain aspects of it. One was a graphic designer. One knew a lot of artists in the game. One was very good with technology and websites and computers. So I was like, oh, dream team, right? I decided to start this company, and that's how Level Up Media Group actually started.
And that's crazy. So talk about a real Cinderella story, eh?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you know what? It's so funny because I actually knew you during the time that you were going through all of that. It was a tough situation. Oh my God. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for
no worries.
being open with our viewers. So would you say that, well, of course it did, but how would you say that moment in time, that professional fuck up has impacted you in the long term? Has it shaped you in any way?
Absolutely, 100%. Like, let's be clear on a few things that came from that situation. One, I didn't get my money back ever. Never got the money back.
Yeah.
Two, I didn't go through that story, but there was a story that also involves me having to explain to all those GoFundMe people that I wasn't going on a European tour and that I had been ripped off and
Yeah.
There were a lot of lessons that came from this that I could have taken in a negative way and kind of just gave up. Luckily, gratefully, now that where I'm at, I didn't do that. I took them as lessons, and one of the first lessons that I took from that was do your own research on who you're doing business with. I
Yeah.
don't care how long you've known somebody, how long they've been in the business, what their experience is, you know, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of record labels out there right now that will try to sign artists without lawyers.
Yeah.
And then when the artist asks for a lawyer, that same label will suggest a lawyer to them.
Mm.
Because they don't know any lawyers, they'll take that lawyer,
Yeah.
and that lawyer is actually working for the record label. So you see, you got to do that's why you got to do your own research, because even in those situations, that's somebody trying to take advantage.
You touched on the point about having to eventually address the people who had contributed funding to your tour, your business endeavor. I know that, you know, when you're a business owner, it's so common to have to, you know, borrow money from friends, borrow money from family members in order to, you know, get your dreams started. Can you just like really briefly touch on what that experience was like, having to go back to them and just be like, guys, like, fuck?
That was probably at that time one of the hardest things I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But after getting over it and realizing just to bite the bullet and explain to people exactly what happened, I came to realize that a lot of that was my own pride and just feeling so ashamed that I had been ripped off and that I didn't do all the work myself. Because what's funny is when I told everybody, and I made a post on Facebook and I contacted everybody personally that I saw, because sometimes donations are anonymous. So there's some people I don't even know who donated it.
Yeah.
But as far as Facebook, made sure I went on Facebook and I explained it to everybody exactly what happened. That's when I went on my rampage of my social media thing and trying to get this guy shut down and everybody to recognize that he's doing shady business and all of that.
Yeah.
But the crazy part was I got so much support still. People were like, you know what, Dre, it's okay. You know, we know that you wouldn't have done this. Like, people knew who I was, right? And that's the part that I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part that I forgot, is that people actually knew who I was. And that's the part that I take with me now when I fuck up, or when there's a failure, or when something happens and I'm doing business with somebody else and it doesn't go the right way.
Yeah.
I know people that I work with know me, and they know that I'm always going to have their best intentions as well as my best intentions if we're working together, obviously.
Yeah.
At heart, like, why would I try to rip anybody off? I'd rather go out and work for the money than ask somebody for it. I'm that guy.
Right.
But sometimes you gotta suck it up and realize that you can't make $25,000 yourself in the time period to operate a business and be able to compete with these corporations that when they see something that is good or something that is catching on, they can literally make it in masses for probably a quarter of the price you can, because they have the manufacturing already, they have the marketing already,
Right.
they have the executives already, and you don't have any of these things, right?
Right.
You don't put yourself in a backwards position by trying to do everything yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got to try to do everything you can to try to put yourself on the same plane or higher than these guys, always. So that's something that I learned from having to tell everybody that I got ripped off.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I would say from listening to your story, I think the thing that resonated or stung the most was the idea that, you know, you have to be accountable to all these people who supported you. Like, that's tough, but you know, it's really, it takes a lot of courage to be able to still stand up and, you know, hold your head up and show face and explain, you know, to these people that it didn't happen the way that you were expecting.
I think that has a lot to do with just the way I was raised, because I could have just hid under my blanket. But,
a lot of people would, though. A lot of people would.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people would. In fact, I spoke to some people, and they were just like, "Forget it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You got ripped off. Nobody's gonna say anything. And if they do say anything, what are they gonna do to you?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that mentality right there is so messed up to me. I'm like, this was a mistake that I made. I need to address it.
Yeah.
And it needs to. So that definitely came from my background. But yeah, it felt like it was something that wasn't even a question Let's just put it that way.
So out of that whole situation, what would you say is the biggest thing that you learned about yourself? Something that you didn't recognize prior to you getting, into that sticky situation?
This is, I don't know how this is going to come off, but this is the easiest way to say this. I realized that if I need to get things done, I don't always need people. There was a time when this all started where I thought that I needed somebody, like I thought I needed a manager. I thought I needed this. I thought I needed this guy to get me into this place. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing that came from this was me learning that it really just takes work.
Yeah.
And if you want to get it done, you can get it done. Like, it really just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, a little bit of research. And thank God for the internet, because some people watching this grew up their whole lives with the internet.
Yeah.
I did not have the internet. We did not always have the convenience of
Totally.
Google. Okay, so you can literally go on Google or YouTube now and find anything that you want, or how to get anything, or any resource.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, make sure you do your research, whoever you are doing business with.
Yeah.
Just, if you take anything from this and from what happened to me and from all of this and what I've learned, is definitely do your research about who you're working with. And don't always think that you have to wait on somebody. Even if you ask somebody for help and you need to get, if I need your help and I need to get something done in 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and a week has gone by and I haven't heard from you, I'm just gonna do it myself. I'm not even gonna contact you. That's how I move.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, okay, at this point, you clearly don't want to do it. That's what you said with your actions.
Right.
And if you want to get angry about the outcome because it was successful after and I left you out of it, which has happened to me as well, then that is going to be your problem, because I move at a scale and a pace where I believe exactly what I said before. There's guys with millions and billions of dollars. And if you have a great idea, you don't have the resources they have. So you got to have something else. And that's the drive, that's the work ethic, and that's the research that you put into your job. Simple and plain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good advice. I want to, obviously we've learned a lot. I want to pivot the conversation a little bit, fast forward to you now. So you own your own business, Level Up Media Group.
Right.
How long have you been in business for? What year did it start?
We registered in 2018.
Okay.
When I started doing shows, it was 2016, 2017, but we registered as a business in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Have obviously been in operation since then.
Yeah.
So had a few shows. We've expanded now. What's behind me is our sweater that we have. We have our whole 6 Slang limited edition
Yeah.
collection right now, which is our sweaters that we have.
Yeah.
We have the shows that we put on. We have graphic artists on deck. We have photographers on deck. So it's literally, you contact us and we can provide you with trusted photographers, trusted graphic designers. That's what I do. If you're an artist and you're looking for somewhere to perform, that's what I do. You know what I mean? So that's how it's grown. That's how it's developed from what it started off as.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have graphic designers on deck, you have photographers, you have artists. Owning a business and having that much responsibility is such a drastic change from being a solo artist responsible for just yourself. So obviously you kind of have to change your mindset, how you approach things, a lot, because you have people who are depending on you. How would you say, as a business owner, you tackle challenges and obstacles that you don't know much about now compared to, when you were just a solo artist looking out for yourself?
Right. There are going to be times where I have done the research and looked into things and I still don't know what the hell's going on. Right.
Yeah.
Like, tons of times. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person that will really do the work and do everything I can to figure it out. And sometimes I'm still lost. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do in those circumstances? There's been multiple solutions for me. There's a lot of actual apps that you can use nowadays
Yeah.
that I've learned about. Fiverr is definitely a great one.
Yeah.
If that's how you say it. That's how you say it, right? Fiverr or Fiverr?
I think Fiverr. I don't know. I've never actually heard someone say it out loud, but I read it as Fiverr.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Don't worry,
that sounds right.
someone's gonna definitely correct us in the comments. It's all good.
Perfect. So I'll know how to say it at some point.
100%.
Whatever. Right now, it's an app that you use. And if you don't know what it is, it's an app where people who are freelancers or just have a special skill that they want to do, they go on, they show you, they give a little profile of what they do. You can look into their background, you can see their reviews, and literally any field that you can think of, from web design to clothing design, to people that will sew patches for you, to people that make it's all there. That's one resource that I go to. But when I first started, because obviously that wasn't always around, when I first started and there was something that I didn't know and I didn't know how to go about it, I would just talk to friends.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because I would just have the conversation with as many friends as I could. Like if I'm at work and I have a bunch of coworkers, I would talk about it a little bit with the people that I liked. You know how I am when I was at work. I don't really like everybody. I don't really like everybody.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. To the people I like and trusted, right?
Yeah.
And then I would go to my friends as well, and I would tell them my situation. And the amount of times that I would go about that, and somebody would be like, you know what? I know somebody who's into that. Or I have a cousin who knows somebody, or I have a dog who knows a chicken who knows that cat's friend over there by the left side.
Right.
They know how to do that.
Right.
The amount of times that has happened is insane. You just gotta be. My problem was I wasn't always so open. I was a closed box.
Right.
So I had to learn to, when you have a problem, be more open about it. Talk to more people about it.
Yeah.
And don't annoy them. Just talk to them about it. And if they want, and if they have resources, the first thing they're gonna say to you is, I know somebody.
Yeah.
So that's literally how when I first started and everything, that's how I figured out everything that I needed to figure out.
Yeah. You know what? I love that, because there's a saying, the smartest man knows that he's actually
knows nothing at all.
Something, he knows that he knows nothing.
The smartest man knows that he knows nothing at all.
Exactly. And it's so true. I feel like, when you own your own business, you want to know every facet of it. You want to be in control of every facet of it. And of course, it's important to know what's going on, but you don't necessarily need to be the one to execute every single thing. Like, there are people who know it way better than you that can really help propel that department or that feature way quicker than you can.
And figure it out with somebody who knows what they're doing, or try to find somebody that who knows what you're looking for, because there might be quicker ways to achieve what you're looking to achieve, and you would never know that on your own. Sometimes it takes experience to know certain things. There's a difference between book knowledge and full-on experience.
Yeah.
And full-on experience will always trump book knowledge. So find somebody with that full-on experience. Get the book knowledge, but find somebody with that full-on experience, and get those shortcuts, get those little tidbits, secret sauces,
So for the pieces of the business that you feel like you are equipped and willing to manage yourself, how do you develop new skills in order to do that to the best of your ability?
You find the time.
Yeah. Are there any resources, or what do you, I don't know, do you watch videos? What do you do?
Well, with me, like I said, I'm an artist, right? So you think about the process of getting a song together. You need a beat, you need lyrics, you need a studio. Then the post-production of that is going to be, you need the marketing, you need cover art, and you need to get your thing out there somehow, right? So all that process involves different people. You need engineers, producers, songwriters, graphic designers, publishers, marketing people. When I first started, obviously I didn't know any of this stuff, right? Experience is a very good teacher. So you just need to prepare yourself at first, because you're not going to be able to find everybody at first. It just doesn't happen like that. So just prepare yourself to be ready to make a lot of mistakes at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, just get in the mindset that I'm going to learn as much of this as I can, because that's what I did. I said, I'm going to learn as many of these jobs as I can. But I prepared myself mentally to fail at as many things as I was attempting. Right? Because only in doing that will you find where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are.
Yeah, totally.
And then you move from there. You just take the strengths and you keep that for yourself. You strengthen those, and then you find people to fill in the spots for the weaknesses.
True. So it's basically trial and error, and don't be scared to fuck it up.
Listen, anybody who feels like they're going to go into this and they're going to get their first business and it's going to jump off the ground immediately and you're going to go viral in 2 weeks because you started a TikTok dance or your meme is lit, it's not going to happen. I don't want to crush. It may happen.
Yeah.
You know, there's always that possibility. But everybody that you see on Instagram or everybody that you know of who's successful, that you might have felt like it happened overnight, like where the hell did this person come from?
Yeah.
They've all been around for years.
Yeah.
For years. I think Kevin Hart is probably the best example of that. When Kevin Hart popped up, people thought he popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then you find out that he's in his 30s by the time he got fame, and had started doing this from when he was a teenager.
Right.
So it's like the man pursued something for over a decade at least before he got any recognition for his work. So you got to think about it like that with any business that you take on. You got to be ready to make mistakes and suck and fail and feel horrible and feel like you want to quit some nights and cry into a pillow and light candles, do some aromatherapy. You know, do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you got to do, but the fuck up is going to happen.
You're right.
It's about what you do after the fuck up, plural.
Yeah.
Don't pursue this if you're not prepared for that aspect of it, because you're going to be you're going to be depressed.
Yeah.
Really quick. And I mean real depressed.
Yeah. And you know what? That's bang on. I posted something on the Instagram a few weeks ago that said, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Like there is a whole hustle that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see. And honestly, people don't want to share because it's not pretty. So
it's very ugly. It's very ugly. Like think about the fact that I went from a show where I had a venue that could only hold 60 people. The first show we had 90 people there amazingly. The last venue that I was at had a capacity of 200 people. We had close to 200 people at the show, and that was from show 1 to show 6. That didn't just happen show 1 to show 2.
Right.
So there was a whole bunch of stuff in between show 1 and show 6 that people didn't see, that they feel like it just happened. And you know what? I prefer people, honestly, myself, I prefer people to think that it just happened.
Yeah.
And that it was luck. Because, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a savage. So the more lazy people there are out there, the better for me, you know? I get my stuff done. I mean, that's just how I feel.
Right.
But in all honesty and seriousness, it's literally that.
So to all the people who are just getting started, thinking about getting started, or just dipping their toe into, you know, a brand new entrepreneurial venture, what advice would you give them?
Well, besides all the stuff I've said already, let me think of something that I could say probably. Okay, so if you're getting into this, into being an entrepreneur, into starting your own business,
yeah,
build the right team around you. And when I say that, I don't mean just skill-wise and experience-wise, because people think that you just need to find the people with the best skills and the most experience.
Right.
Your team has to be people who either believe in the dream as much as you do or more than you do. Their passion has to match your passion for whatever it is you're doing. Like literally, if you're planting flowers or planting trees, if you're planting trees and your passion is to have an organization to plant trees, you can find somebody to organize your finances and get the marketing done and all that stuff. But if they're not passionate about planting trees to save the environment and they're just doing a job, it's going to come out, maybe not at the beginning, but somewhere down the line, their work is going to start to slowly do one of these naturally.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get sick of their job. They're not going to see it as a dream, which is the way you see it, right?
Yeah.
They have to see it as a dream the way you see it as a dream. Because once people start looking at something as a job, that's when you start saying, oh.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I don't want to go in there again. Everything starts off amazing, right? Like Bacon Nation started off as a great dream. Excitement, happiness at the very beginning, right? But I'm sure there were parts down the road where you're just like, oh my God, this is like, oh, I want to be the hell out of this. Get me the out. But because there was so much passion, right?
Yeah, you pick
that
it up.
That never happened. The right team was there. The right team, even when times were rough, the right team was there that would be there, that would work for, help you guys out if they have a few extra hours here and there, or you know what I'm saying? So that's the right team was built. That's why it is where it is now, as opposed to how it started small and now it's super huge.
Yeah, it's, you know what, that is such great advice, because the people that you surround yourself with, they could really make or break you. Like my parents used to tell me that when I was a kid, you are who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
That is true. It's so true.
People take it the wrong way, though. That's the thing that's the most important thing, is that people take it as, where did I get this pen from? I don't even... What? Where did the pen come from? People take it that as when they say build the best team, they're literally looking for people with skills and experience only. That's all they look for. I'm going to look at your resume, see how many years you've been doing this, and I'm going to hire you based on that. When in reality, the most important factor is that passion.
Right.
And in order to gauge that, there's no piece of paper in which you can read, or website bio that you can read, or LinkedIn bio that you can read that will gauge that for you. You have to meet with the people person to person, sit down, and don't have a business meeting when you first meet with these people. Just chill, hang out, see if you can be friends with them. See if you guys get along, because you already know they have the skills, right? So now let's just see if you actually love this and if we get along. And then if that works out, it's go time, right? But a lot of people just look for the skill, the resume, and we're good to go. So,
you know what? I definitely agree with you. The skill comes second. It's all about personality and what kind of person someone is, right? Because you want someone on your team who's going to, hold up that mirror when you forget who you are and what you're about, to remind you, hey, dude, like, this is what we signed up for. This is the goal. This is what we're trying to do. This is who you are. So like, pick it up and, let's keep it moving.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Totally. Well, okay, damn. On that note, thank you so much for that conversation. That was so enlightening. I feel like you dropped so much knowledge that was better than I even expected for episode 1.
I'm honestly glad that I could share that, because you always, as an entrepreneur, any entrepreneur, you always want to be able to share this, but with the right people. And I know this is going to be the right group of people. I know you. I trust you. I did my due diligence, my research, my background research.
Totally. Yeah.
So, so I know this is going to be going to the right people.
Yeah, I think,
my thing's probably lagging a little bit.
Yeah, it's lagging a little bit, but it's all good. The message was received loud and clear, and I think that a lot of people are going to be able to, take bits and pieces of this and apply it, and just find so much value in what you shared with us today. So thank you again.